What's up, guys? I just want to do a quick look into some professional settings that you can use on MX bikes. I'm pretty sure Lens uses these, either this exact settings or something like this. So I wanted to go through it. So on your lean, these are all pretty standard. Most people use these. So lean, you're gonna see all your inputs on the bottom right there. And the X and Y is your coordinates plane that you're on. So I've got lean at my left stick, pretty standard. Throttle, you got your right trigger. Rear brake and brake, I've got on my left trigger. I run combined brakes. A lot of people run combined brakes, so I would recommend it. Clutch I have in as B, my B button. So that's kind of personal preference. If you don't like that, then change it. Front back lean, left right lean. My right stick, that's really standard. Some people put it as inverted or uninverted. I have mine both uninverted. So when I'm putting my stick up, my little dot goes up and then like so. A lot of people actually do front and back lean inverted. So if you wanted to do that, you could. I have rider lean tracking disabled, direct lean on 80. Combined brakes on, like I said before, minimum 16, max 102. And then over here, this is a lot what's going to be really important. In my advanced settings, there's also a drop down here. I have my dead zone at 2%. If you have any stick drift or anything, then you might want to increase this, but otherwise, I would say keep it pretty low. Then I got linearity, all that stuff. I think most of this is pretty standard. Some of it might even be the default. So I'm just going to run through them for you. Just pause the video if you need. All right, that's all that. And then force feedback. And I don't think anyone really uses it. All right, your input 2. Gearbox I preload off, and I have my shift up and down on my 2 bumpers. I would recommend that. Most of people use that. Some people use their X and Y buttons, but I have those on different things. Whatever you're comfortable with, really. Starter doesn't really matter because we're gonna have auto clutch and stuff like that. Pushing your bike, that's if you're like down and you're trying to push your bike further forward or backward. I have those on my X and Y buttons. So if you have an extra button for anything, then I would say go for it. Sit, I have as like the normal crouch button in a game. Just push your right stick down. Dab doesn't really matter. I think everyone runs basically auto dab anyways, so you don't really need much for that. Reset, I have on my options button right here. So it's pretty much, that's pretty much crucial. I would say put it on one of your middle buttons that you don't really use most of the time. Track marker I don't have set. Some people do. If you use it a lot, I don't use it a lot, so it's not necessary for me. So do it if you want. View, change view, we're going to use that later. I would say keep it on this because you can just reach up to your keyboard if you need to change a view. Look back, some people do this, some people don't. I pop it on A just because it makes sense to me. Tear off, heading doesn't matter. Tear off I have on the D-pad up, which some people put it on different D-pads, some people put it on buttons. It really doesn't matter. Mostly personal preference. For me, I put it on D-pad up just because I think if you're reaching your arm up to tear off your well, you know, then it should be D-pad up. So everything else, gestures, pretty much whatever. Unless you're making like videos, then you shouldn't really have to do any of this. So I mean, it's pretty much standard. I think all of this is default. Graphics. This depends on your PC, but as high as possible, without sacrificing any FPS is what I would say. As you can see, I have everything high as possible. So as high as possible is what you should do. Miscellaneous, this is just sort of my thing. One thing I would say is to change your bandwidth to very high, because it can lower your amount of like connection that you're getting to servers if you don't have it on very high. And if that doesn't work, then put it on high or something like that. All these other ones, these are pretty much just personal preference. That you can copy them if you want. All right, this is a little bit more nitty gritty here too. Field of view I have on 115. It's pretty standard. Tilt 0, pitch 31. Free look I have off, so none of this matters. Corner anticipation I also have off, so none of that matters. Show rider stand, that's just all of like the HUD stuff. I have show HUD off because I have max HUD. If you don't have max HUD, then just show the HUD. Locked bike, I don't even know what that does. So this is also this external view. I don't think a lot of people use third person in this game, so this doesn't really matter unless you're a third person player. Riding aids, this is where I would say change them from my settings. So I've got automatic rider dab on, automatic rider sit on. You want to change that off. Unfortunately, I started playing and I did not have, I never learned to play with manual rider sit. So I would say keep that off if you're a new player and just learn how to manually sit. Automatic clutch, I have shift help on. That doesn't really matter. I'd say on or off, whatever. And then automatic tires change, that's just like pit stuff. So that's all that. All right, and we're here on farm 14. So now what we would say to do here with your camera settings, mess around with them a little bit. After you've got in your regular settings, there's also some hidden ones that I'll show you real quick. So you're going to want to press your V button or whatever you use to change camera, and you're going to want to press it until it says dynamic onboard view. This is the best view in the game. I think by default it sets you to static, which is by far way worse. Your head doesn't move at all and you can't really tell what the bike's doing. So I would say put it on to dynamic, 100%. And another setting not a lot of people know about is you can hold shift and then press C, and then a little text will show up on the bottom, and then you can go over to your arrow keys on your keyboard and you can actually move your camera. I go all the way back on this one, so I'm pressing the back arrow all the way back, and then you can press shift and C one more time, and that'll be your vertical. I go all the way back and all the way down. It seemed to have been messed up a little bit for me, but I'll go all the way back, all the way down, and then press shift C again, and it's done. These are by far the best camera settings I've seen. I've